Just put your paws up, 'cause you were born this way, baby.
Thank you, everyone. Happy Pride.
Be safe.
Good morning. You can hear me, right? Yes. Well, good morning and welcome to the Sedona Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. I'm Carolyn Kavanagh, and I'm going to be your worship associate this morning. And J.J. O'Brien, raise your hand. Yay, J.J. is also assisting with readings and the introduction of our guest speaker, Rodney Turner. Today's service is about the LGBTQ plus community. Now, if you're new to the acronym, it stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, or questioning. That's the plus. And the plus also stands for the many ways we can express our gender identity. All the readings in today's service came from the UUA worship website to enhance the voices of the LGBTQ plus folks. And now I'd like to extend a special welcome for any first-time visitors or guests. So if we have any new guests among us, if you would like to raise your hand, we'll just acknowledge you and say hi. Hi. I'd like you to look at your order of service where it has shared affirmation and mission. And please say it with me. This fellowship is a welcoming, diverse, and nurturing, beloved community that promotes progressive religious thought and practice to create a more loving, just, and sustainable world. All right, now it's time for announcements. The first announcement is from Chris. Tracy received the Sedona book, and thanks everyone. So Tracy moved to Tennessee to be with her family and grandkids, basically, and we sent her a really nice book, and so she's thanking us. She received it. And then Craig and Cornelia Hartley arrived in Colorado, and they are checking out various UU fellowships. So good luck to them, and we know they'll find a good one. And Ron and Suzanne Berkey are enjoying every second with family in Illinois, which is good to know because I know Ron had broken his leg, so he's healed. It's good. And the next announcement is from Michael Steele. The Verde Valley Voices Christmas concert will take place on Sunday, December 12th, 2021, with a wide variety of holiday music. Please contact Michael for more details, and you can buy tickets for Michael or at the door. And Barbara Warren has an announcement. After last Sunday's service, she found a 4 shillings short CD, which she is holding up. The title is Icons and Imagery, and it was in the parking lot. So she has it in case somebody wants to claim it, and I guess we do have a lost and found just in case. And then one more general announcement. We have a supply of 100 questions about Unitarian Universalism. It's a booklet, and it was donated by Peggy Connect. And they're out there on the welcome table. And please take one if you wish. And if you can afford a $5 donation, put it in our collection jar. Yes, Chris?
Maggie just bought more books for us. So now we, on top of the 100 questions, we also have the Unitarian Universalist Pocket Guide. So it's out there if you want to get one, and if you could put $5 into our collection box, that would be great. And Peter, please pass on our thanks.
I will, thank you.
Just in case people are interested, the Sedona tree lighting ceremony to start off the holiday season is coming Saturday. And that's going to happen in Tlaquepaque North. And there's always wonderful entertainment and free hot chocolate and cookies. So just to start the holiday season right, Saturday, Tlaquepaque North for the tree lighting.
Okay, so now we're going to do the chalice lighting, and JJ's going to help.
Living with Pride by Lori Gorgas Clayton. We light our chalice flame for those who live their lives in closets of shame, for those who furtively visited the bars where nobody knew your name, for the Stonewall riot and the fierce trans women who fought, for the plague which still takes far too many, too young, too soon. So many gone, so many never lived to see out gay kids singing on TV, out gay people serving in the military, marriage equality, families formed by intention. We light our chalice flame for all these, and for our siblings of the rainbow, surviving, living life out in the open.
Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshipper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshipper, lover of leaves, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshipper, lover of heathen. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come yet again, come yet again,
Blessed are the Queer by H.P. Rivers. Blessed are the wanderers seeking affirmation. Blessed are the worshipers praying from closets and pulpits and pews and hardship. Blessed are the lovers of leaving their family and familiarity, leaving tables where love is not being served. Blessed are those who stay. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for justice, for they will be satisfied. Blessed are the queer, disciples of truth. They're living, they're breathing, it's sacred. They're reflections of divine love.
I want to introduce our speaker for this morning. Rod Turner has been a member of PFLAG for about 3 years now. And this is his second year on the PFLAG Sedona Verde Valley Board of Directors. And he is currently president of our chapter. His wife Susan and Rod are from Michigan, and they celebrated their honeymoon in Sedona about 10 years ago. and they immediately contracted a severe case of red rot fever. And Sedona has been their permanent residence for the last 5 years. They have 5 children. They're a blended family. A blended family, 5 children, including a 34-year-old transgender daughter and a 32-year-old lesbian daughter. I've known Rod for about 3 years when he and Susan first attended a PFLAG Sedona Verde Valley meetings when I met him. And we've worked on various issues and attended various PFLAG meetings over the last few years, and I've really got to know Rod a lot during that process. And I've come to know him as a staunch, fierce, and fearless ally of the transgender, gay, and lesbian community. I've also been to many monthly meetings with Rod over the last couple of years, and he's always provided a lot of support and help for other parents and grandparents of transgender children and grandchildren. Telling his story, sharing his experience, and sharing his wisdom as the father of a transgender daughter. And so without further ado, I'd like to introduce our speaker, Rod Turner.
Hello, as JJ said, my name is Rodney Turner. My pronouns are he, him, and his. If you don't know why pronouns are important, please ask me after the service. And that's another discussion we can have. Thank you for inviting me to talk to you today. I'm going to share my experience as a proud parent of LGBTQ plus children. I'm not an expert. I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I'm a parent who did some things well and made some mistakes. At the end of my talk, I'll let you know some things that I wish I had done better. Some background information that might make it easier to follow along when I'm telling my stories. I've been married 3 times. My 2 oldest children, Nathan and Jasmine, are both from my first marriage, and I'll refer to their mother as ex-wife 1. My youngest child, Sarah, is from my second marriage. I'll refer to her mother as ex-wife 2. And my middle 2 children, Brian and Alyssa, are from my third, best, and true marriage, and they are my beautiful wife Susan's biological children. My oldest daughter, Jasmine, is transgender. That means she was assigned male gender at birth, but she identifies as female. So she's a female soul delivered in a male package. When she was a young child, I would bring her and her older brother, Nathan, to Toys R Us to pick out toys when I had some extra cash. And Nathan would immediately go to the Legos or G.I. Joes or guns or whatever boy toys there were in the store. And Jasmine would go to the Barbie aisle and carefully and slowly pick out the Barbie that she didn't have. She would spend hours doing their hair and designing gowns for them. And she would perform the best one-person shows and dances. Her coming out was in 2 stages. In the first stage, I came out to her. Her mother and I had divorced, and she was in Atlanta with ex-wife 1. And I was remarried and living with ex-wife 2 in Michigan. So she would come up to visit me and to visit her brother and sister. During one of her visits, I was passing by her bedroom, and I noticed a folded up piece of paper on the dresser. She was in the habit of writing stories and poems and songs. So assuming it was one of those, I picked it up and I started reading. And soon I realized it was a letter from her lesbian cousin talking about the two of them being gay. So now I had information about her that I didn't have before. As my beautiful wife Susan will tell you, I'm a big fan of documentaries. And I remember watching a documentary on Netflix that talked about how traumatic and stressful it can be for LGBTQ children to come out to their parents. So I told Jasmine that I didn't want her to go through that stress and trauma, and that I knew she was gay. So now I believed I had a gay son, but I was wrong. After a while, my gay son started performing in drag shows in Atlanta. And after a while, so when she would perform in the drag shows, she would dress as a female. And over time, the female dress stayed on when she was not performing. And after some time, she came out to us as transgender. So when Susan and I first started dating, I let her know that I had a transgender daughter, because it was important to me that she was accepting of her. I couldn't get serious, or I couldn't marry her if she wasn't accepting. And as you can see, she's very accepting. At one point, Susan asked me if I missed the little boy that Jasmine had been before she transitioned. And I believe what I said was that all of our children change as they grow older. Jasmine just changed more than most. So I've never felt any loss of the boy that she was before she became Jasmine. I just feel honored that she chose to share with me who she truly is. And she's the same child that I've loved since she was born. My third child, Brian, is lesbian. Her mother is my beautiful wife, Susan, remember? I'll refer to her as my beautiful wife, Susan, for the rest of the day. So it took Brian longer to accept her sexual orientation. She came out as an adult. And I think part of that was her religious upbringing and the environment that she was in. She went to a very strict, right-wing religious college for undergrad. So it really wasn't a safe environment for her to come out. She went to University of Michigan for grad school, which is a much more liberal and accepting community. And while she was there, she examined her life and accepted the fact that she was lesbian. And after that, she came out to Susan first. And after she came out to Susan, she told my beautiful wife, Susan, you can tell Rodney if you want. So before I gave this talk, I called both Jasmine and Brian to get their input. And I asked her why she didn't come out to me. And she said she knew I would be okay with it, which was really nice. And when she came out, it wasn't anything I expected. I had no feeling or inkling that she was lesbian, but it wasn't surprising. Brian is my mentor on inclusivity. She studied it as an undergrad, and that's what she went to the University of Michigan for grad school. So anytime I have questions about the LGBTQ plus community. She's my source. She's the person I go to for the best information. If I ever have doubts about what a term means, she's the person I go to. So the next part, I intended for parents, when their LGBTQ plus child comes out, but actually it's for more than just parents. It's, if you have any relatives who come out, or you're friends of a parent whose child comes out, and now people are coming out at older ages because they're comfortable. They don't feel like they have to stay in the closet. They don't feel as threatened as they used to. So people are coming out at older ages. So if you're in a situation where someone in your life is coming out, these are some pieces of advice that are not from me. These are from PFLAG. Just remember, your child is the same person they were before they came out. They've chosen to share some significant information about who they are with you. They're not rejecting you. They're hoping that you will accept them for who they are and that you won't be disappointed. The second thing to remember, this is not a phase. If your child's over the age of 13 and they have reached the point of telling a parent or a loved one that they are LGBTQ+, then it's not experimenting. Most LGBTQ+ children are aware of their identity by age 13. Your child is not going to go through the stress and anxiety of coming out if it's just a phase. Sexual orientation and gender identity cannot be changed. Every major medical and psychiatric association agrees that attempting to change one's sexual orientation or gender identity does not work. It can be harmful, and it can lead to suicide. Positive and supportive responses lead to healthier children. These include talking with your child about their LGBTQ+ identity, expressing your unconditional love for your child, supporting their identity, connecting your child with an LGBTQ+ role model, and supporting your child's gender expression. Negative responses can cause long-term damage. Hitting your child, name-calling, or kicking your child out of the house clearly have negative impacts on their mental and physical health. Unfortunately, 70% of homeless teenagers are LGBTQ+, meaning they've either been kicked out of the house or they found the environment in their house unwelcoming. Other negative behaviors include blocking access to LGBTQ+ friends, events, or resources, telling your child that God will punish them because of their identity, making your child keep their LGBTQ+ identity a secret and not let them talk about it, and pressuring your child to present as more or less masculine or feminine. Don't deny their gender identity. Make an honest effort to use their preferred pronouns. Now, this is an area where I could have done better. Shortly after coming out as transgender, Jasmine wanted to visit her younger sister, Sarah, who was living with ex-wife 2. Ex-wife 2 insisted that Jasmine dress as a male when visiting Sarah in order to protect Sarah. Otherwise, Jasmine wouldn't be allowed to see her. Unfortunately, I did not put my foot down. I did not insist that Jasmine be allowed to come visit as herself. And that's something I regret. Fortunately, Sarah is now one of Jasmine's biggest allies and supporters. So now I'd like to talk about some of the things that I wish I would have done as a parent. Number one, not assume I know my child's gender identity or sexual orientation. I remember calling Jasmine in Atlanta and asking if she had a girlfriend. So at that point, I assumed that that is the natural course that her life would take. My brilliant daughter, Brian, suggested that a better way to ask is just, is there anybody special in your life? Okay. Expose your children to LGBTQ plus adults and families, either in person or in the media. Okay. There's a lot more representation in the media now. There's the Fosters on television. It's a lesbian couple with foster children and a few natural children. So there's family dramas with LGBTQ plus couples. It's important that you let your children know that it's normal. Make sure your children know that I love them unconditionally. Let my children know the most important hopes that I have for them are that they are happy and they are the best versions of themselves that they can be. Some other things that I wish I would have done is talk to my children more to know what's going on in their life. I had no idea that Jasmine was being bullied in school when she was younger. I found this out 2 days ago when I talked to her about her input for this talk. So I'm going to get into some statistics now. The Williams Institute does regular reports. Their 2020 report estimates that 4.5% of adults in the United States self-identify as LGBT. That's up 1% from their 2011 study. So 4.5% self-identify. But 8.2% have engaged in some same-sex sexual behavior. It's almost double. 11% acknowledge at least some same-sex sexual attraction. That's 11 out of 100 people. So 4.5% self-identify. But there's up to 11%. So some don't want to have the label. So it's very likely there are people in your life who are LGBTQ plus. So my beautiful wife Susan told me she comes from a family of engineers, and when she gives a talk, she gives homework.
Education.
Oh, education, yeah. Okay.
Makes more sense.
All right, so she comes from a family of educators. See, I thought she said engineers, because I'm an engineer. So I heard what I wanted to hear, engineering. Okay, so here's what I would ask of you. Love your children unconditionally and let them know that you do. Have age-appropriate discussions about gender identification and sexual orientation with your children. Don't make your children come out to you. Make sure they know that you love them unconditionally and talk to them about gender identification and sexual orientation. So expand the talk. Regardless of their age, even if they are adults, ask your children what you've done well, what they wished you would have done better, and what they need from you. Banish gender reveal parties and events. Remember your adult LGBTQ plus friends had coming out experiences, and many of them were negative. They need unconditional love and acceptance from their chosen families. So if you have LGBTQ plus friends, show them unconditional love and support, because many of them didn't get that from their parents. And most importantly, love one another. Thank you.
I just want to add something that Rodney said. I have been going to the Sedona Verde Valley PFLAG, I guess, for 6 years now. The first person I met was JJ, who was a godsend, because my 25-year-old son came out as transgender female, and I did not know what that meant. And it's been a journey, and I've learned so much, and I'm going to continue to learn. And I want to say something that Rodney said at my meetings, because I always get so much out of the meetings. It's second Tuesday, and it's Zoom, and you can see Rodney or JJ if you're interested. Rodney said this, and it really stuck with me. He said, first, accept, and then seek to understand. Because I was trying to understand, and I was reading all this stuff. Nothing beats meeting that community. No amount of reading is going to do it. You need to engage with the folks who are doing really hard work. And so I want to recognize JJ, because you were PFLAG president for how many years? It's just been wonderful. Thank you. And thank you, Rodney.
Yes.
Okay, so now we are at our shared moment of silence and stillness. And I just invite you to get comfortable, relax, take a breath. If you need to close your eyes, just to come into this space. So let us open ourselves here and now in the process of becoming more whole, of living more fully, of giving and forgiving more freely, of understanding more completely the meaning of our lives here on this earth. That was by Tim Haley. We will now have a moment of silence, which will be broken by the relieving bell. Time for a moment of silence. by taking an offering for the ministries of this church.
Everyone knows this world ain't perfect, but what you got going on, it makes you worthy. Any way you turn, or any way I slice it, someone's gonna get burned, but those scars are truly worth it. One day you'll see that the answer you seek was in front of you, baby. Love is all you need when your back's against the wall, 'cause you feel you've lost it all. There's nowhere left to turn and no one left to call. There is someone just like you who feels the same way too. Why would you surrender? Don't give up on love. On love, on love, on love. On love, on love, on love.
Sometimes it feels things won't get better, but in time you realize nothing lasts forever.
One day you'll see that the answer you seek was in front of you, baby. Love is all you need when your back's against the wall, 'cause you feel you've lost it all. There's nowhere left to turn and no one left to call. There is someone just like you who feels the same way too. Why would you surrender? Don't give up on love. On love, on love, on love. On love, on love. When your hope has run away,
Don't give up,
if you've ever been betrayed,
don't give up,
when you fall your last
give
ride,
up.
why would you surrender? Don't give up on love when your back's against the wall, 'cause you feel you've lost it all. There's nowhere left to turn and no one left to call. There's someone just like you who feels the same way too. Why would you surrender? Don't give up on love. On love, on love, on love. On love, on love, on love.
So now is the time for our community to share joys and concerns. And the first joy is welcoming visitors. I didn't have to put you. Okay, so is there anybody here now that feels called? Kathy?
I would just ask that people please hold our friend Nikki, our very dear friend. We just found out that her mother died. We did not expect this on Thanksgiving morning. So she's sort of alone facing this back east. So we feel badly that we can't be more direct support for her. So please just hold Nikki and her mom, Lillian Tadini, in your hearts today.
Chris?
I just have to thank JJ and Rodney and his beautiful wife Susan. And Carolyn and like Barbara and Sarah who are out there and go to PFLAG meetings and show their support and change the world. And you're just so much appreciated, and I hope you know the difference you make every day. And I also have to thank Lady Gaga. I saw her some weeks ago in Las Vegas at her jazz and piano show, and so all of a sudden she said, "Everybody who was born this way, stand up." And as we all stood, she looked at everybody and said, "This is for you." And then she just played the piano and sang. And there were so many tears, and it just reminded me also what Rodney said, how important it is. I really want to thank those entertainers too, Ellen DeGeneres, Megan Rapinoe, whoever they are, for being out and proud. And because I think we're only afraid of what we don't know. And the more of them come into our living rooms, the more us regular people are able to come out and show you who we are and that we're not hurting anybody or doing anything, bad to this world. So thanks to everybody, and to my beautiful wife, Kathy, who changes. Makes the world better every second of every day. So thank you.
I had my daughter and my two grandkids, her husband, and the in-laws visit me for a week, about 2 weeks ago. And it was just so great seeing them here in Sedona. We did a lot of hikes, had a really great time, and got the news that grandchild number 3.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to drop a rock in there for
Sandy?
I think the world needs more engineers or educators, or both. There's a book that many of you may already know. I think maybe I brought it up once before, but a friend introduced it to me, and it's called Far From the Tree. And our society puts up, I guess for money, what we should all look like, sell products, or who we should all be like. But it's written by a gay, and I'm not sure that's the proper connotation now. It's written by a gay man who has various chapters on not just this community, but also anybody who is different. Handicapped people, blind people, people who can't hear, all of the differences in our society. And it talks about how those parents dealt with it. And it's a failing of our society for education that, not everybody has to look like, Tweety in the old days or Lady Gaga or whatever. And it's really an eye-opener about tribalism and how parents, I didn't raise children, but how parents like children who are like themselves, because that's who they can deal with, that's who they thought they were producing. And it's a tome, and you don't have to sort of read the whole thing, but it's really an eye-opener about our society and differences. Oh, and the title is Far From the Tree, and it's Andrew Solomon.
I just thank you for being so welcoming to my beautiful husband, Rodney. But I do want to say that Rodney's family and my family too, we suffered a great loss this past week. Rodney's brother passed away from COVID, and unexpected, obviously, and we're going to be traveling to Michigan. Keep your thoughts and prayers with Rodney and the Turner family. Thank you.
That my sister and her husband got to perform for SUUF last year.
Oh, Sarah.
I hope you can hear me. I don't talk very loud. But just wanted to say Eleanor Cohen made her first major trip to Palm Springs after all her health issues with her shoulder and her back. And she should be coming back today, so I'm really glad that she's able to do that. So just wanted to let you know.
All right, now there's one last stone that JJ will place. And this is for all the joys and concerns, spoken or unspoken, that they are unfolded in the warmth of this community, and may that warmth extend in sympathy and compassion to all those who
answer the call of love.
In the face of exclusion.
We answer the call of inclusion.
In the face of homophobia.
We answer the call of LGBTQ rights.
In the face of racism.
We answer of justice for all races.
In the face of xenophobia.
We answer the call of pluralism.
In the face of misogyny.
We answer the call of women's rights.
In the face of demagoguery.
We answer the call of reason.
In the face of religious intolerance.
We answer the call of diversity.
In the face of narrow nationalism.
We answer the call of global community.
In the face of bigotry.
We answer the call of open-mindedness.
In the face of despair.
We answer the call of hope.
As Unitarian Universalists, we answer the call of love.
Now more than ever.
We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We can feed on every need. Every need. We can feed on every need. Every need. We can feed on every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed on every need. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these our world will die. Peace and freedom is our cry. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. A new way, a new way, a new
Okay, I'm extinguishing the chalice with these words. In awe of all that is, may you boldly answer the call to love with the joy of this community in your heart. Go and do good things today.